The Pittsburgh Steelers might not be done yet, folks. Just when we thought the front office was settling in for training camp, the rumor mill fires back up. And this one, it's got some serious weight behind it. According to one insider who's been hitting the mark lately, the Steelers are exploring the idea of adding another high-level cornerback to their already impressive defense. The names being floated? JaMarr Alexander and Jaylen Ramsay. Yeah, we're not talking about depth pieces or practice squad guys. We're talking about Pro Bowl caliber talent. If there's any truth to these whispers, then Omar Khan isn't just fine-tuning this roster. He's looking to take it over the top. Let's rewind a bit. This same insider, who some might remember from a few past scoops, is the one now saying that Pittsburgh has reached out about both Alexander and Ramsay. And while some fans might roll their eyes, maybe because of a past miss or two, Guy's nailed some huge calls recently. He was on top of the George Pickens trade situation before it became public. He even hinted at an Aaron Rodgers signing before the big names in national media picked it up. So when he says Omar Khan is cooking, it's worth paying attention. Now, obviously, bringing in someone like JaMarr Alexander raises questions, and not just because of the cap implications. There's the scheme fit, too. Historically, Alexander has played on the outside, not in the slot. That's key because the Steelers already have two strong outside corners in place. Joey Porter Jr., who they invested a high pick in not long ago and who they clearly still believe in, is locked into one outside spot. On the other side, they went out and signed Darius Slay, a Super Bowl winning veteran who isn't coming to Pittsburgh to sit on the bench. So you start thinking, where exactly does Alexander fit? That's where things get interesting. Because while Alexander has mostly been an outside guy, there's a growing belief that his physical play style could translate well to the slot. He's aggressive, sticky in coverage, and when healthy, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's had elite PFF grades, especially in 2020 and 2022, ranking in the top 10 league-wide. The problem: health. He's missed significant time the past few seasons, and that's always a risk when investing in a player of his caliber. But if the Steelers are planning to use Beanie Bishop Jr. in the slot anyway, and we've seen he's undersized even though he flashed at times, then why not take a swing on a high upside option like Alexander? It all comes down to cost, not just the draft capital, which wouldn't be an issue if Alexander is released or made available via a cheap deal, but the financial commitment. What kind of contract would he command? And more importantly, is it worth it for a guy who might not be available for a full season? Those are valid questions, and they're probably being asked behind closed doors in the Steelers front office right now. But let's pivot to the other name here, Jaylen Ramsay. Now this one, to me, just makes more sense. Ramsay has actual experience playing in the slot, and he did it at a high level during his time with the Los Angeles Rams. From 2019 to 2022, he thrived in that nickel star role, especially in 2021. And 2022, where he graded out as a top 3 cornerback by almost every metric that matters. Even last year, playing in Miami, he was still a top 10 corner according to PFF. And yes, he's entering year 10 in the league and might have lost a bit of that athletic pop. But in terms of football IQ, physicality, and versatility, he's still elite. Ramsay's fit in Pittsburgh is pretty seamless. He can move inside when needed, match up with tough slot receivers, and even drop into a safety role if the coaching staff wants to get creative. And while his contract sounds steep, we're talking about over $20 million due in 2025. Here's the kicker: there's no guaranteed money beyond this season. That gives the Steelers flexibility. They can restructure, extend, or even cut ties after the year if it doesn't work out. Plus, with Miami reportedly looking to move on from him, the trade compensation wouldn't be sky high. A 5th rounder, maybe a 4th at most, is what it could take. That's a bargain for a potential difference maker in your secondary. Just imagine this defense with Ramsay in the fold. You've got Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. on the outside, Minkah Fitzpatrick and Deshaun Elliott on the back end, and now Ramsay in the slot. That's locked down across the board. And that's not even touching on the linebacker core with Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson. The defensive line is already one of the league's best. Add Ramsay, and suddenly this could be the most complete defense in the NFL. No exaggeration. Now here's where I pump the brakes a little. As much as I would love to see Ramsay in black and gold, I still believe the Steelers need to prioritize getting another wide receiver. especially for Aaron Rodgers. Look, Ramsay is a luxury, a guy you add when most of the boxes are already checked. But wide receiver, that's a necessity. Right now, the depth just isn't good enough. And if bringing in someone like Ramsay means they can't afford a true number 2 target for Rodgers, then I'm out. That's where the decision gets tricky. You've got guys like Romeo Doubs out there who could be had via trade. Then you've got the free agents, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Jalen McMillan, Adam Thielen, all names that have been floated as potential fits. The Steelers already brought in Gabe Davis for a visit, but I think everyone agrees that Cooper or Allen would be better fit stylistically. They're both polished route runners, experienced, and Rodgers has publicly praised Cooper's game in the past. If you can get one of those guys and add Ramsay, fantastic. That's the dream. But if it's one or the other and you're asking me to choose, I'm going receiver all day. Speaking of Keenan Allen, he stirred up some headlines recently when he was asked about possibly playing in Pittsburgh. His response, well, it wasn't exactly glowing. He said that playing with Rodgers is always appealing. Of course it is. But as for Pittsburgh itself, nah. That one-word response lit up social media, but let's be real. He's not trashing the team. He's talking about the city. Keenan Allen has spent his career in Los Angeles and Chicago. Big markets, glamorous cities. Pittsburgh? Not quite the same vibe. It's blue-collar. It's gritty. And maybe that's just not his scene. But don't confuse that with not wanting to play for the Steelers. If the offer's right and the opportunity is there, anything can happen. Still, even if Keenan isn't a fan of the city, I'm personally leaning more toward Amari Cooper anyway. He's a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper in his routes. I'm more experienced on the outside, which is exactly where the Steelers need help. Allen's more of a slot guy, even though he can flex outside. But Cooper feels like the cleaner fit alongside Rodgers and what Pittsburgh's trying to do offensively. Now let's turn our attention to what's happening on the practice field. Day 2 of minicamp just wrapped, and all eyes were once again on Aaron Rodgers. This was his second practice with the team, and the vibes were strong. There's a different energy when Rodgers is out there. Quarterbacks coach Tom Arth even compared him to Tom Brady. Not in play style necessarily, but in terms of preparation, processing, and the cerebral nature of the game. And honestly, he's got a point. Rodgers might not be the athlete he once was, but mentally he's still playing chess while most guys are stuck on checkers. We've seen this story before. People thought Brady was cooked in his final season. With New England, he had a mediocre year by his standards, low completion percentage, subpar efficiency, and then he went to Tampa Bay, got in the right system, had weapons around him, and boom, Super Bowl in year 1. Rodgers, if you look at his numbers last year with a mess of a Jets team, actually outperformed Brady's final Patriots season. So if Brady could do it at 43, why can't Rodgers at 41? His arm talent is still elite. That whip quick. Release? Still there. His processing? Top tier. The Steelers have released clips from minicamp and Rodgers looks sharp. The ball's coming out fast, it's on target, and you can tell his teammates are feeding off his energy. He doesn't need to be a scrambling magician anymore. He just needs to be a surgeon in the pocket. And he can absolutely do that, especially in an offense that protects him and gives him options. Rodgers ranked top 6 in the league last year in average time to throw. He doesn't hold the ball unnecessarily. He reads defenses, makes quick decisions, and gets the ball out. He was also top 5 in turnover-worthy play percentage. The guy protects the football better than just about anyone. That's how you win games in this league. Efficient, smart quarterback play. And with guys like Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren behind him, the Steelers should be able to give him a solid run game to lean on. And the arm strength? Still ridiculous. People on the ground say the ball just comes out different when Rodgers throws. It pops. It zips. You can see the difference between him and the other quarterbacks on the roster. That's the kind of presence that can elevate a whole offense. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's growing buzz in the NFL world as rumors swirl around the Pittsburgh Steelers, who may be on the verge of making a massive move to reshape their offensive line and ground game. Sources suggest that the Steelers are close to securing a heavyweight presence in the trenches. None other than Jonathan John Smith. Known for his relentless power and tenacity, Smith's arrival could be exactly what Pittsburgh needs to protect their young quarterback Kenny Pickett and turn their rushing attack into a dominant force. For weeks now, insiders have been quietly hinting at Pittsburgh's interest in bolstering their offensive front, and Smith's name keeps popping up. With Pickett entering a critical stage of his development, the Steelers are reportedly eager to provide him with the best possible protection. Smith's reputation as a wall in the trenches is well earned, and fans are already imagining the impact he could have in stabilizing the pocket and opening running lanes. The buzz doesn't stop there. Analysts speculate that Smith's presence could completely transform the Steelers' running game, which has been inconsistent in recent seasons. His ability to dominate defenders at the line of scrimmage could give Pittsburgh's backs the space and time they need to break off big plays. This rumored addition aligns perfectly with the team's ambition to re-establish their ground attack as a cornerstone of their offensive identity. While nothing is confirmed, the whispers are growing louder. Could Jonathan Smith be the key to unlocking a new chapter for the Steelers? If the deal goes through, expect a seismic shift in Pittsburgh's offense, with a stronger, more aggressive line giving Kenny Pickett the confidence and time to excel. This potential signing has fans and pundits alike buzzing, a move that could redefine the Steelers' season and set the tone for years to come. Keep your eyes peeled. The trenches might just be about to get a whole lot heavier in Pittsburgh. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.